folks. Welcome to the webinar on the topic AI-driven assessments and interviews by Xobin. For those of you who've been following us for the last 3 or 4 months, end of last year, I made a update that this year there will be a series of 6 major product upgrades in Xobin, and one of these upgrades will primarily be focusing on artificial intelligence. And for those of you who are tracking the tech space, you would probably know GPT has taken the world by storm. A lot of products are becoming obsolete, and a lot of products are using these services and really enhancing their offering. Okay. But Xobin, we didn't really wait for GPT to come. Honestly, our work with artificial intelligence started mid of last year. I had actually made it. I've been sharing the updates in these webinars since the beginning of last year. So here in this webinar today, I'll be primarily focusing on how a product is offering tremendous value to recruiters and organizations by using artificial intelligence. For the people who don't know Xobin, here's a quick write-up about what we do. So we are now a leading player in the assessments industry. We come with over 7 years of experience in assessing close to 1.5 million candidates. We are SOC2, GDPR, ISO 27001 compliant, and we are working with over 800 plus companies with presence in India, in Chennai, and in Mumbai, and in Delaware, and US. So that's about us. And why we exist. So our core purpose in Xobin for the last 7 years has been only one thing. We really wanted to save the time of people who are recruiting talent, because a core function of any business is to add value to its customers as such. And hiring is more of an add-on aspect, and it has to be as seamless and interesting as possible. We started our company in 2016 with the mission to eliminate the humongous time it takes to evaluate talent. Whenever we heard HR say that, they had a bunch of resumes in their desks to evaluate, we really, didn't encourage that. The whole concept of resume was not good, and we were not always in for, which is why we started a skill assessment company. So our purpose has always been to offer great value to the hiring team by reducing their time, at the same point of time, ensuring that the candidate experience in this entire journey is not lost. Keeping that goal, we excel in one thing in Xobin, which is Xobin Assessments, which primarily comes under 2 categories, which is skill assessments and psychometric assessments. With skill assessments, we've got over thousands of pre-built tests that encompasses close to 40,000 questions. And this is not just in tech, but it's in customer success, marketing, sales, finance, etc. And these questions come in different types, like MCQs, video-based questions, coding questions, descriptive questions, etc. And we've got more than 1,000 odd tests already pre-built that are ready to be deployed immediately. Then we have our psychometric assessment, which tests something beyond skills, which tests something that really cannot be acquired by human being in a short period of time, which is more outcome of their experiences in the real world. Okay, so we've got scientific assessments which can evaluate both these parameters. And for both these things, few things are very common. Like for skill-based assessments, we excel in providing a seamless glitch-free coding compiler, which can automatically evaluate the answers. And we provide a artificially intelligent proctoring system, which ensures that the candidate cannot really cheat in an online assessment. So similarly, for psychometric assessments, we ensure that we give a very enjoyable experience for the candidates to take up the assessments in a good interface instead of boring them with the traditional interface. Right. So both these things we have thought from both the candidate's perspective and the recruiter's perspective, and we have excelled in offering these platforms over these 7 years. And we have assessed over close to 1.5 million candidates in this existing system. Now, what's new with Xobin? Well, let me put it this way. Our assessments till date were evaluated by two mechanisms. One is manual evaluation. Once the candidate gives the answer, the recruiter will go ahead and manually evaluate them on a scale of 0 to 10. Two, automatic evaluation. Here, the answers would be based on the defined key. The answer would check whether it is equal to the key, and it would automatically grade the marks. It is just like how a simple objective question would be matched, like uh, something not greatly innovative, but it is functional and it works. It works till now in a brilliant way. These are the two existing methods of evaluation. However, there is a much more stronger evaluation that is now possible with the emergence of large learning models and generative AI. And we have built something called as AI Evaluate, which we are launching to the world today. AI Evaluate uses state-of-the-art generative AI to intelligently automate evaluation and save the recruiter's time spent in manual evaluation. So imagine you can ask any question to the candidate, and the artificial intelligence would automatically rate whether the correctness of the answer based on the huge range of text that it has scrawled previously. So it is, no matter how much I tell orally, you will really not be able to see. So we have built a small free prototype, which you can find in the comments of whichever platform you're viewing. I suggest you to go see that. And right now I can quickly share and show the free prototype as to how it works. Perfect. So you can go to Xobin.com and you will see a header on top called as Xobin launches AI Evaluate with generative AI based answer checker. You can just go click try now, and you will be taken to this cool landing page where you can go ahead and try out AI Evaluate. So there is a sample question over here. How are SpaceX's rockets reusable? Okay, it is a very vague question, and the answer that is there on the screen is rated 12 out of 15. Okay, let me go now. Okay, I'll read the answer. SpaceX's rockets are relaunchable through the use of technology called propulsive landing. This involves guiding the rocket back to the launch site using its engines to slow down its descent and land it vertically, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I'm good at changing this answer into a very bad answer. I'm going to write a very bad answer right now. Okay, I'm going to write something like the rocket works by baking eggs, and the outcome is bad. So this is a really bad answer. It's completely irrelevant as such, right? But obviously it is 0 out of 15. And now if I slightly make the answer a little bit more sensible, let's see what happens, right? Slightly more sensible. I don't know whether it deserves anything more than a 0 or not, but it's I got the keyword of propulsive landing from the previous right answer. It's still not as good as the right answer that was originally there. I didn't get a 12 out of 15, but I got a 7 out of 15. So on a scale of 0 to 15, the artificial intelligence will be able to rate any answer. So this is a small prototype. You can actually ask any question you ideally want. You know, for example, when did India get independence? Save question. There's a spelling mistake. It's okay. Good answer. The year 1947, August 15th. So let's see, and it's a pretty good answer, and 10 out of 15. So basically, the correctness of the answer is not evaluated by any human here. It is actually evaluated by artificial intelligence based on its large learning models. Now, if you have access to Xobin platform, you can go ahead and create your own subjective question and make the question evaluatable by artificial intelligence. Okay. And on top of the automatic answer checking, you can also add something called as a target answer. The target answer would ensure that the artificial intelligence is guided properly by human intelligence. Okay. So it's one of the core IPs of Xobin. You really cannot just leave artificial intelligence to decide the fate of candidates. So some amount of human targeting is involved. Okay? And then just the manual part is replaced by artificial intelligence. Okay. So I strongly suggest these Xobin customers to log into your dashboard, create a subjective question, right, and make it AI evaluatable. Okay. And add your own target answers. So that was AI Evaluate. So what it does, it helps in checking whether a text is correct or not. We have added AI Evaluate to Xobin Assessments, like I said, in all our subjective answer questions or descriptive answer questions. You can go and create your own subjective answer question and just press AI Evaluate, and automatically the work is going to get done for you. It's going to be a magic. You just have to have access to Xobin platform to try it. So if you don't have, make sure you get one right now. We'll drop a link to go ahead and get access to it. Now, based on this technology, assessment is not the only part of the platform that has gotten impacted. We launched one new thing, and we call it as Xobin Interviews. Xobin Interviews was long pending feature in our platform. Ideally, the purpose was this. We help in automating the screening of 1,000 to 1,500 odd resumes or profiles by conducting our intelligent assessments. Once the assessments are conducted, what is the next step? Though we can provide the good candidate, the obvious human tendency is to speak to these candidates. These 1,500 candidates could go ahead and come down to top 200 candidates. So here's the question I have here for the people who are watching this. Can 200 profiles be interviewed in a single day? It could be an S if you have enough people. But if you're let's say a 5 to 6 member hiring team, 200 people is a strong no. You may be able to do it for namesake. Each of you could conduct 40 interviews, but the quality of interviews is going to be completely deteriorated. It's really not advisable to do that. Two problems will come when you try to conduct 200 interviews in a day, assuming you have 5 interviewers. One, scheduling the interview is going to be the number one problem. You have to keep calling all these candidates, find a sweet spot between the interviewer and the candidate, and arrange for an interview. You need an entire human resource team to work on this particular task. One. Two, it's quite unlikely that all the slots could be available on a single day. Okay, it's going to be spread across easily over a period of 3 to 4 days. If there is a weekend, it's going to be extended more. So this whole process is going to defeat the purpose of being able to assess the right candidate fast. So in Xobin, we've launched something called as automated interviews. Okay, I will go ahead and explain what is automated interviews directly in a demo rather than showing as text. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the dashboard of Xobin Interviews. By the way, Xobin Interviews is live in every single account of Xobin. You can go ahead and give a free spin of it. Now, what you're seeing here is already scheduled interviews. Okay, so how did I land at this interview with this candidate here? It's quite simple. You just have to go and create an interview. There are 2 interviews you can create, a live interview and an automated interview. Let's start with something that is quite familiar to all of us, a live virtual interview. Then let's say that I'm going to conduct it with Google Meet, a live interview with Google Meet. I'm going to continue. I'll call it as demo interview. I've got to invite myself. I'll give my personal email ID. When do you want the interview to be scheduled by? Let's say that I want to be scheduled by this week. I can press submit and the candidate is invited successfully. Okay. So let me just go to my email ID, and I would have got an invite from the recruiter here saying that, hey, Guruprakash of Xobin Co has invited you to an interview. Okay. So go ahead and book the slot over here. So I'll be able to quickly book the slot over here. So what slots are available is already programmed in Xobin's dashboard before. Like as a recruiter, I can say that, hey, I'm available between these to these time on these to these days. So let me just drag this up. I'm going to go, it's a 15 minutes interview in the Indian time zone. I'm going to go ahead and book the interview slot. Okay. So as soon as I press book interview slots, I have time till this Friday to select a slot. Okay, I'm going to go and click Friday, and I have only time from 2 to 2:30. I have only 3 slots, right? I'm going to select the 2:15 p.m. slot, and I'm going to go ahead and press confirm. And that's all. As a candidate, I have already scheduled the interview with my recruiter. And I, as the recruiter, I would have gotten an update in my Xobin dashboard that a new interview. Okay, so interview with the demo interview. This part, if you can see, is successfully scheduled on 14th April from 2:15 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. And the candidate has accepted. Okay. Now, who is this candidate called DDD? If you press this link, everything about the candidate is going to pop. And if you press start interview, automatically the Google Meet link will pop up, which we fetch from your calendar. So as you guess, before you start using, you have to integrate with your Google Calendar and start using it. And like you mentioned, I can go and cancel this interview at any point of time. You won't be able to revert this, cancel, no problem. Just cancel the interview. And as you would have guessed, the candidate would have gotten an notification. He'll soon get a notification saying that the interview has been cancelled by the recruiter. So this is the live interview aspect of the Xobin interviews, okay, wherein which you can integrate your Google Calendar. You can integrate your Google Calendar, and you can go ahead and conduct these interviews seamlessly. Now, the second part of the problem that I said was, the first part I said that, scheduling interviews are going to be difficult, and live interviews solve that. The second part is, how can you make all the 200 people finish the interview just in the same 15 minutes? Is that even possible? Well, it's very much possible. For that, you have to go ahead and create something called as an automated interview in Xobin. So create automated interview. Just give me a minute. Press continue. So here, another proper use of artificial intelligence. Let's say that the role I'm hiring is for executive assistant to Elon Musk. See, no assessment platform can have questions for this particular job role. Okay. Because it's very spontaneous and it is very abrupt as such. Executive assistant to Elon Musk. But let's go press next. What we are attempting to do here is that we try to go ahead and parse our libraries and our learning models, okay, to go ahead and fetch some questions, okay, about this particular role. Maybe this role was too abrupt. Let's go ahead and try quickly another role. Let's say executive assistant to CEO as such. Let's try this. Again, it's parsing. Here you go. How do you prioritize tasks and organize the CEO's schedule efficiently? Can you describe a time when you successfully solved a problem for the CEO? How do you handle confidential information and maintain discretion in your role? can you provide an example of how you have contributed to the growth or success of a company in your previous position? How do you handle a situation where you and the CEO have conflicting priorities or schedules? These are pretty good questions, which are automatically parsed based on your exact preference. All what you had to do was just type one particular role, and the questions are just in front of your screen. You could go and preview how the interview would look for the candidate. Well, these interviews ideally are going to, a candidate would see a simple form. He can just fill it up on his phone. The questions would be he has to type his name and email, and he has to go ahead and just press, can you describe a time when you successfully solved a problem? The CEO just has to go ahead and record the answer, start the camera, and give his answer. Okay. What's going to happen is he will record the answer, and once he presses submit, you get a notification of all his answers. So this we call as an automated interview. Okay. Now, what's more interesting is candidates answer these questions. Our AI transcribes the video into text. And then on this text, the AI evaluate, which I previously demoed, would go ahead and evaluate the answer on a scale of 0 to 10 based on the target answer that you have given. So imagine 200 candidates completing the interview in 15 minutes. The next 5 minutes, you will know who are the top 5 people you should go ahead and schedule a one-on-one interview with. Okay, so here is how the entire Xobin process has changed. You've got 1,500 assessments, 1,500 resumes in your desk. Okay, you are filling them to the Xobin platform, and all of them get a link to an assessment. From the assessment, you have shortlisted 200 people who may potentially clear the next round, which could be the automated interview. Out of this 200 people, all of them would go ahead and record their answers. Their video answers would be transcribed to text, and we would automatically evaluate their answers and give you a list of 15 candidates who are potentially good fits. These 15 people can automatically book a one-on-one interview with you in a live interviewing module. Okay, and you can directly have a comfortable interviewing experience where you can spend a lot of time with these 15 people in identifying the top 3 or 4 people who would fit your job role. Okay, so I would say that this is the right use of AI, where just the manual part is eliminated, and it also helps you to go ahead and spend more time with the highly qualified candidates. So the entire process of finding good candidates is completely transformed by using one single platform like Xobin. And I really can't wait for all of you to use this immediately, because all these things are available in our simple, transparent subscription plans. There's a link down below. You can go ahead and request for a demo, and our product experts will get in touch with you and schedule a very personalized demo for you, show and give you a free trial of the platform. And I can't wait for you to transform your entire recruitment process with our cutting edge technology.